Come on, everybody, sing. Give me an L A R.
He's singing.
Lar, 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 lar,
He's
lar.
singing.
Hiya, Nick. I hear you.
Hey, how are you? I didn't realize you could hear
Uh,
me.
we had a
I was
little,
telling the guy next to me you were singing.
yeah, well, we have a little, I do a little entertaining in here because, it's not just about making money in the markets, Nick. It's also about treating each other with love and respect, and that's what we do in LAR. Every once in a while, you've been out there in the Twitter community. There are people that like to relish other people's struggles because it helps them feel less inadequate. And we happen to have someone like that in here today. You know what that's like,
Oh, I
but
definitely do. Yeah, I
yeah,
usually think, oh, they must have had a bad day in the market,
yeah,
And I think you can tell the people who've been around a while because they're quite humble.
yes,
Because
yes,
we
like
all
you
know
are,
that
and like you
we
are,
all
Nick,
know
and
that. Well, we all know that we're only the market decides whether we're right or wrong. We don't,
that's
and
right.
it's and then you never know what your next trade will be. So
But I don't know about everybody, but you know what? I root for everyone to be successful. I hope for other people to be successful. In fact, I actually feel the pain of people when they're not being successful because I've experienced it. And I really think that if people are happy that others are failing, it's really only to ameliorate their self-hatred and their inadequacies of them not being successful. I really don't understand it, and I'm going to be taking a break, and I need one. So,
yeah, no, it's
you know
awesome
what?
what you do for people, though.
Uh,
I know a lot of people appreciate it. You've really helped them
Thank you so much, Nick.
for
And
nothing,
you
you know.
you you help people a lot too. On the last time you were here, you were without any hedge. Like CNBC, like CNBC analysis is like, well, if the yen breaks and then takes out support, but then doesn't follow through and rallies back to new high, but then it fails again, then it could go lower unless that low is rejected and it moves higher. You came out unequivocally, very actionable analysis. So you came out
Well, hopefully we
unequivocally,
can do some more today.
yeah, you came out unequivocally bearish U.S. dollar yen when it was well above 120. Great call. A lot of people are still bullish the yen there, so
I'm
kudos
afraid
to you,
I
Nick.
think I am too.
Huh?
I think I'm still bullish yen, bearish dollar yen too.
Okay, and that was a great call. And for people that don't know how you ended up in the industry, I remember the story, but why don't you just tell them you were, a little bit about being an air traffic controller
Yeah,
and how.
I used to be an air traffic controller, and then I was running an air charter company, and luckily I made enough money to start trading, because as most people know, um, it's not easy, and you do need a bit of capital,
Yes.
and yeah, it's something I always wanted to do. I was always an investor, but I was never a trader, so. And I really only invested in stocks, and like it's a joke really to say investor because I never sold anything. I just bought them. So,
Okay.
which is what I learned from my mother. So, yeah, no, my journey was hard, like just like everybody's, but it's just something you have to stick at. And I think if you stay sane and positive, you'll make it. But
Yeah,
it's not easy.
I learned to believe in myself from my mother because she planted that seed of belief in me. So it's
Yes.
important, really important for people to be validated by their parents, at least
Right,
one of
because the
them.
market won't do it for you.
No.
The market doesn't care whether you're right or wrong, and all the rest of it has no business, in the market. You're just trading a strategy. It either has a winning edge or it doesn't. And the problem is that when you're wrong or you lose money, it can make you feel like everything else is wrong and it was all your fault, and it's not. It's just the way the market is. So
So everyone get out of their fetal position and realize, and
exactly.
don't take losses personally. You know, when I was young in the business, I had a manager who said, you can't drive a cab without getting tickets. So you can't trade. You can't trade without taking losses. And I'm very interested in what your current views are as we're in the
Yeah, and you
second
know,
quarter.
I'm going to show you from my new website that's not live yet. So for the last,
Oh yeah,
gosh,
you have that. You
eight
have an
months.
announcement to make.
Yeah,
I
I
was going to
do.
save that. Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of
It's
like,
that
I've got
green
all my
box.
charts ready on the site, so it's going to be a bit of a
Okay.
giveaway.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah, for the last 8 months with Blake Morrow, Pipzar, that I know most people know,
yes.
and a couple of other guys, a, a lovely guy called Stelios and Steve, Greek guys, macroeconomics, and Elliot Wave, and Gregor Horvat, who you had on last week. We've all been building an analysis website
Oh.
called
Okay.
Forex Analytics that will be live in a week, and we all just are contributors. So we all contribute our analysis on there. But it's a really cool site because of the way it's put together. So I've got all my charts
Let's
ready
see
on
it.
there.
You go to the green box with the arrow, upper
Okay.
left-hand corner, and then we can
Yeah.
take a look.
Oh, hold on.
Sure.
Um, Screen.
Well, you have a lot of collaborators on this
Yeah,
because
there's 5 of us for now.
I mean, you and Blake, 1 + 1 would equal 3. So you have you have another 3 people contributing. So that's
Yes.
5.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need one more to make it 2 threes.
Yes, we do, and we've got someone in mind, as you know.
So
Hold on. Let's
are
see
you
if I've
having
got the right
trouble?
page. No,
Oh,
I
okay,
couldn't see which screen I'm sharing,
okay.
and that's not my screen.
Yeah, I
Hold
think it's
on.
mine that you were showing.
That's your screen.
I see
Screen
nothing
share.
being shared yet. But we're patient, right? So just like we have to wait for setups, we have to wait for screen shares.
Not yet. Okay, I'm just gonna just closing my CQG because I think it likes that. Hold on. Oh,
They're hammering the market into the Fed, huh?
here we go. Can you see my screen? She said,
Um,
hopefully.
it's not showing it, but on the little box, it's showing Stonehenge. Is that it?
No, I've got the wrong page. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry
No,
about this,
that's
everybody.
okay. I
We don't need Stonehenge, do
now
we?
now we have your I forgot what they call them when people ziggy your yellow blonde hair next to an alarm clock. Okay, now something's coming up, but not on the main screen yet. Let me see. Maybe it's because I'm not seeing it. Okay, we're good. Forex Analytics is up.
Yeah, so that's the name of the website. It's just a beta one. We'll be live in about a week or two. I'll let everybody know. So I'll just get in. So where would you like to start today then?
Well, we have the Fed here. You know what? Why don't we start with? Do you have any bias of which way the
I
euro is
kind
going
of,
to come out of this range? Last week, I saw what happened with Draghi as a stop hunt above that 113.50 level, and I'm looking for about 11.40, maybe 110. Your view on euro and dollar would be great.
okay, so my view on euro is I'm not quite sure that this is a triangle. I think we've talked about it before. I'm looking for more of a really big ABCD. So unlike a lot of people, I'm not sure that the euro dollar's topped. I still think that we've got room to 117. And if you measure from the low last year,
Okay.
to the summer high.
Right.
If we make a rally equal in time, that puts the euro dollar due to top around mid-May. So
Okay.
when I go and look at the daily
So
chart, which we're looking at here, I still think that there's the potential that this is a channel and we've got one leg higher. And only if we really trade below sort of 111 will I say it's not. I think that we've got good support of 111.70 and I'd like to see what happens there.
okay, and it's
So
interesting that I don't believe I recall from our last interview. So you also look at time like Gann does for potential targets. You take.
yeah,
Well,
or a bit perhaps like the Fibonacci queen. I'm looking for symmetry,
okay.
so I really like to see symmetry. Um, and we've kind of gone past the point where the euro dollar second leg would be sort of 618 of the first leg. So now I'm looking for it to be equal.
Okay, and is this
So
a harmonic pattern? This
yeah,
ABCD?
that's just an A, B, C, D, an equal
Okay,
measured move. Yeah, like an A,
I
B,
got.
C correction in Elliott wave.
Okay,
So
right.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking could happen. I know a lot of people think that the euro dollar's topped, but I'm not prepared to say that yet. It might
Yeah,
have, but I'm not
there's
prepared
even
yet.
some targets above that 117 that could take it to like the low
Exactly.
120s, like 122, 23. If
Yeah. So when I
dollar,
look at when I
but
look at the dollar index, it's the quite similar. So when I look at the daily, we've got a Gartley pattern here, the 786 of this rally. We
right.
could rally from here. It does kind of look a bit. It did. I think it could be a bit of a head and shoulders, but if we take this first swing and it's a bat, we've got room to go a bit lower. We didn't quite tag an ABCD from here, so like the euro dollar, it might be that the low is in, but there is the potential for one more push lower.
Okay, and you have the levels at 93 and a half and 92,
Yeah,
92.
93.5 down to 92.92.
Yeah,
If we head
2.618.
lower from here, yeah,
Okay, and that would set up with a May time frame as well. So
exactly.
kind of like one more shoe to drop for dollar weakness. After that, do you think that we could? Because I know a lot of
And it's
Elliott
annoying
futures,
because mid-May puts us then into sort of you know early
what the
summer trading.
doldrums, the
Some
summer doldrums.
yeah, some years they've started early. I'm really hoping this isn't going to be one of those years. So the other thing I like to look at, for is the dollar Swiss.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why um, I'm not quite bearish yet on euro dollar is the dollar Swiss. Here's my 4-hour dollar Swiss chart. We've made an ABC correction into 50% of the decline from the
Mm,
middle of March. So if we roll over here and continue lower, then that's
yeah, that
bullish for the
also
euro dollar.
implies a lower dollar.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So,
So
it looks like what would propel that most likely would be a dovish Fed on Wednesday.
yeah, and I'm not sure that the Fed are ready to hike it. But it's quite interesting because if they are intending to hike a couple of more times this year, they don't like to do it without preparing the market. So
They don't
they
like to
might.
do it when the S&Ps are under 1900, but they're willing to do it up around the 2100 level. It's almost like
Exactly.
they want to control a 300-point range in the S&Ps. Does it feel that way to you that they're more
It does, and
market? Go ahead.
they've sort of alternated, worried about the global economy, not
Yeah.
worried about the global economy. And each time when you overlay it, it's true that depends on where the S&P is, whether
All
they're
right. Well,
worried or not.
here's my theory. Here's my theory, Nick.
Okay.
I'm Janet Yellen, and we're writing strangles in the S&Ps. We sell calls when it's at 2100. So puts it. What do you think? The Fed's doing
That's
strangles here?
hilarious.
That's my Janet Yellen imitation. People love it. People are so easily amused here in the FX community.
I
So,
know.
okay, so we have a
So here's my
picture in the
daily.
dollar, and
Here's my daily of the dollar Swiss. So I think if we continue low, we could go
okay,
down to 92 in the dollar Swiss for harmonic pattern.
okay, okay, that's okay. So
So that we're
92 and
sitting on
a
this
half.
support now at 95, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
and that's kind of, isn't that weird? That's kind of a target for the dollar index too. Both Swiss
exactly,
and
exactly.
60 have the same number. Can you explain how that could happen since it means they both kind of move in opposite directions?
No, but then the market works in freaky ways,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
isn't that something though?
It
I
does.
just I noticed coinkydinks like that. So
Oh
uh,
yeah, all the time.
how about how about the commodity currencies? You know, Nick, we've had a great run recovery in oil. When I liked it
Great
under
run.
30, everyone was saying $10, $17. Now people have flipped, and you know I'm hearing 62 to 85 in crude, and the Canadian dollar. I remember, in fact, I had Blake on at the bottom of the crude and pointed out that it was a falling wedge. It ended up being a throwover and a falling
Yeah.
wedge. So, where are you at now with Canada and oil?
Okay, Canada oil. We'll look at oil first because
Okay.
I love oil. Um, I'm not quite ready to sell oil yet. So here's my monthly chart of oil. So for me, we've made an ABC correction from the 2008 highs, and the second leg is 0.786 of the first leg, which is unusual, but oil does like the 786. But we've stalled. When I put a Fibonacci retracement on any swing or any leg,
Yeah.
the first thing I look at is for a reaction at the 23.6. So in oil, for me, I'm just finding the right chart here. Um, we
So we
stalled
did.
at a
It wasn't 23.
23.6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show you on if I can find it on my trading view charts because it's kind of quite important. For me, there's a lot of confluence, a little bit higher than where we are now, between
Okay.
sort of 46, 45.60 and between sort of 46.60. There's a couple of the big monthly 23.6 Fibonacci retracements, and that's for me key for trend. So if we've bottomed in oil, we'll take them out. But the first time we touch them, you're going to see a reaction of them. So this is my daily oil chart. It's a continuous chart of the front month, and for me, although I know a lot of people want to sell it here, and you can see, these lows here,
Yeah.
and this previous high in December, it is a good level, but I do think that we are going to extend a little bit higher
And
to that sort
look
of
at the time
46
frame,
zone.
mid May. So
Exactly.
mid May. So perhaps a weaker dollar into mid May. Crude continues to rally into mid May
Yes, I think so.
because
So,
you know a lot of people are saying it's all one market, and at times it is. Usually it is, and
and quite often oil is the trigger for stocks to sell off, isn't it? So,
yes, yes. So we could get another big rally if crude hits 46. That'll that'll really be the test for the S&Ps at major resistance. So
yeah.
then I'm assuming Canada still. I'm thinking maybe 125 ish in Canada before a bounce. You have a view on that with your that ties into your crude view.
I do. Here's my. I'm going to show you my monthly first, okay?
Okay.
So if the decline from here puts us at Gartley, but there is room in oil, in dollar Canadian for one leg higher. I don't think we will. I think that this probably is it. Um,
Okay.
but now I just need to find my. Uh,
But
so here's my.
go ahead.
So here's my 4-hour view. We've CAD rally in a downtrend. Here's the confluence of resistance, of support. But
Right.
the CAD likes to spike levels and freak everybody out, and uh, have a proper run of the stops. So I think that we are quite likely to see another test of 126 in
Okay.
the CAD before we
Well, a
reversed.
$3 pop in crude would be a pretty good catalyst for another
Yes.
100 or 200 pips in Canada to the downside, don't you
So
think?
I think we're close to a bottom, but not quite yet. No,
And with
not a
your
clear sign
and
of it yet.
okay, and with your monthly take that was probably it at 147, then we should be looking for potentially a wave two or a B to correct this big decline to be about 1,200 pips, and then
Yeah.
eventually.
And here's my alternate view. You know, if we don't hold these lows, if we don't hold the 126s, then we would get a butterfly, which, you know, bull trends and bear trends
Yeah.
often end on butterflies, and that would take us down to about 125.60, 125.70.
Okay. So we have some confluence in your view and my view here.
Oh,
That's good
that's
to
good.
know. You know,
Good to
so
know.
that helps me. You know, it helps me when people who use different methods than me are coming to the same conclusion price-wise and outcome-wise. So, how about the
So
gold and
my view
what?
of the other two commodity currencies, the Aussie and the Kiwi, actually, I'm a bit more bearish, I'm afraid. I sold the Aussie last week, so
Okay,
and I'll show you why. So
so at
here's a
least
monthly.
50% pullback of the recent rally that we've had in Aussie, or a new
Yeah,
low in Aussie. You think the Aussie could even take out the lows of this recent bounce that we had from 68-ish?
um, I think it could. Yes,
Okay.
I'm not prepared to say that. So here's my monthly chart. So, you know, whenever I put a fib on, like if I you can see from the 2011 high to the 2016 low, the first thing I look at to know that I've drawn it right is a reaction at the 23.6 fib, and
Mm-hmm.
you almost always get one. And on this monthly chart, you can see that's at 78.30, which we tagged last week. Is also interestingly the 200-month moving average and the 20-month moving average. So that's quite a lot of confluence. And that's why I sold the Aussie. I'm just going to take a look at the weekly chart, which doesn't have any of them on, but this is where I sold it. That's the old weekly chart. Um, so for me,
So,
the
so
same
your
thing. So
target,
now
do you trade multiples, Nick, where, say for example, we get a quick and we had like a nice break off that resistance level. Do you take partial profits
I
and then
take partial profits. Yeah,
hold a core position
I
until
do.
you're
And and I don't add to it unless it's a new setup, like that I would
okay?
buy if I had no position. So I don't just add to it without a new setup. But yeah, I do. So the same thing in the Aussie, you know, because I always look at the 23.6 first, and I say that's, you know, key trend support resistance. So that would put us down to
76.
0.76 next in the Aussie. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
So that
that's
kind
what
of
I'm looking
ties
for.
in with my gold view. I think there's a good possibility gold finish its first wave up, and that we're going to correct down towards 1150, 1140. Although, I was originally waiting for one more high in the gold to have a three drive. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, can I assume with your view in Aussie that you think the gold short term is toppy?
I definitely do. We'll go to gold next if you like. I'm just going to quickly show you the Kiwi dollars
Okay.
ABCD.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I'm kind of bearish the Kiwi as well for the same reason. So um, that's what I'm looking at too. And that was a 1272 of this first correction. So Kiwi,
Okay.
I am also looking for a top. And, you know, but potentially, you know, if I'm wrong, the Kiwi dollar will go much higher. But for
Okay.
now, it's just an ABC, and we'll see.
I've been talking since you brought up off the Aussie and Kiwi. I've been looking at a weekly formation in Aussie Kiwi, up around the
Oh yeah,
113 weekly. It looks like over 113 there could be a pretty huge move, maybe to 123 or so.
Oh
And
yeah, let me just load that up.
yeah, so I really like the long-term look on that. It held 110 support and started to threaten again. So I'm wondering which one is going to be weaker on this decline, if it's going to be Kiwi or Aussie, because the chart to me looks long-term looks pretty constructive,
I've got the wrong chart
long
here. Yeah.
Aussie, short Kiwi.
Yeah.
You see, if you went to maybe a little longer time frame, kind of like it's in mid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look
there
at
you
this.
go.
So
Yeah,
this is the month. This is my monthly.
right.
I'll go to a weekly. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely diamond actually. Head and
Okay.
shoulders, inverted head and shoulders bottom. I really like this.
You're like
I'm the
you're
same as
like a
you.
diamond, Nick. You're like a
I
diamond, Nick. You're so brilliant. You're so brilliant. I'm wearing my shades.
I don't know if I am brilliant, but that's really nice of you.
I
And
am, Nick. I'm not
the only
kidding. I'm
problem
wearing.
with this, and I'm going to show you why, I slightly.
See, you thought I was kidding, but I am wearing these shades that Ziggy sent to me a year or so ago, postage due. But I am wearing my shades right now. Just wanted to tell you that I wasn't just teasing. I'm just shading myself because you two are a diamond. So,
That is Ziggy guy. I love Ziggy. He's
yeah,
great.
great man.
What
Okay,
a great
so
man.
there's one
Um,
problem. We could have a C wave back down to 110 one more time. Is that the problem you're seeing, that we could have an ABC before we get through 113?
it's potentially, if we roll over here, it's a bit of a Gartley, and it might head to new lows. So, and I hate to say that because it makes me sound like one of those CNBC people.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
If it
just going to
does
put in
this, it'll
some
do
things
that.
that,
But if it does that, it'll do this.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to, oops, crazy. Um, okay, so I have measured it right. I'm just going to take these off and show you here. The oscillators don't give you any clue which way this one is going.
Right.
It looks a bit bear flaggy. I do like the Aussie over the Kiwi, but if we roll over here, it might not be so pretty because. So here's a
Oh,
lesson
I
for people.
see.
Gartley's, the first leg is to the 618, which this one has done perfectly,
Right.
and then actually the 1272 of this is a bit lower, so I'm just gonna put it down.
So it's okay to be
It's kind of
neutral.
here
And
or here and around here. So I'm just saying, potentially. So now we know that I've got potential reverse. So this sort of consolidation area is key, and I think if we take out these highs at 113, we're on our way, and that's the
okay.
Gartley pattern dead.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So right now it's an I don't know, and why try and guess? Just wait for either to
So
get the
right now,
breakout or
bigger
yeah.
picture, look at the monthly pattern, the weekly pattern. It looks great, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
obviously, we're at resistance. We're at the head and shoulders neckline,
Mm,
and we do. There have been sellers here every other time we came. So
right.
let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
So
you for sharing.
so
So I
um,
think we're going to move to the gold
yes.
next
So we're
after
going to
we
look at the
cover.
gold.
Okay.
Okay, so if I look at a monthly chart, this is my monthly chart. So from the sort of 1999 lows, where Gordon Brown sold all our gold, to
Yes.
the 2011 highs, we retraced to the 50%, and it's really respected these big monthly fib levels nicely. So we got support, 3 times off the 23.6. We had a big fight over the 38, and then we had a really good reaction at the 50, and we're back retesting this 38 fib, which is 1283 in
Hmm.
the spot prices. That's the spot price, not the futures
Right.
price, but the fib pattern still applies. So that's really key Fibonacci resistance. If we can't clear that, we will continue down to the 618 fib at 900 next.
I think that's
And
what we
so,
were. That's what you were looking for last time. So,
yeah,
yeah. So we had this bounce, but back over 13, we'll go to 61.8 around
yes.
15. 1500? Is that where that dotted line is?
Yeah, so it works like a stair climb. So if we yeah if we get above that, then we will go to 1530, which was those previous lows.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so another
But
either or.
yeah, but if you held a gun to my head, I would sell it, not buy it.
Okay.
So
I
um,
okay, and
on the weekly chart,
I'm thinking 1130, 1140 on a pullback. Is
right?
the fib
So
numbers
on the
there? Go ahead.
yes, I do think that, and I'll show you why in a minute. On a weekly chart, though, we have a bit of a descending channel. We're at the top, so we don't have to do very much to reverse this trend and get out of it. And on our way back to that 1283 level. So a weekly doji followed by a weekly shooting star. I'm kind of leaning bearish. When I come
Uh,
to the daily, here's this
I
is
want
pretty key. I
everyone.
think it's
I want everyone to take note that Nick starts, if you've noticed during her presentation, with the monthly look, and then begins to drill down to shorter TFs. So you need to not just have a microscope, right, Nick? You need to have a telescope.
yeah. You need to have a telescope, yeah, or just it. If I find it very hard to stay in trades lately, squeezed out of a lot of stuff, which is annoying. And I think if you have a bigger picture view, it'll help you stay in. So anyway, this will be decided in the gold for me at around 1190. If it's just an ABC correction and we're going to rally higher from here, then we're going to retest these October highs
Okay.
and we're going to make an ABC correction. If we go below that, I think that, depending on how we sell off, um, I think that the high could be in gold. So that's really what I'm looking at.
Okay.
1283, anything above there, and I'm bullish, a long way bullish. And um,
Okay.
and the support at 1190.
Okay. All right. So we're right in the middle of decision here.
Well, we've been here 10 weeks, haven't we? So it's
Yeah.
a bit frustrating,
Yeah. You know
really,
what?
for
It's
gold people.
interesting. Do you have any reason why? Could it be just market action and all the noise that's making it more difficult to stay with trades? Um, or is it more of an individual issue that we all go through? Do you think it's a market or
I
you?
think it might be a bit of both. I have noticed some weird things that, you know, um, trades which would normally trigger in normal trading hours seem to be triggering in the middle of the night or weird times where you wouldn't take them, and so you end up missing them.
Okay.
And you're not on
Yeah.
them. And then when you look at the chart, you say, well, that's no difference to what the market was doing a year ago. But actually, it's those small little things that make a difference to whether you're in or you're not. And yeah,
Do
they're
you leave
just
resting? Do you have enough confidence in your orders to go to sleep and put an
no.
order in to initiate a position while you're sleeping if it gets there, or are you normally there to initiate positions?
Um, well, I'm half of a trading team, so we have to both agree, and
Okay.
we don't usually agree on stuff like that. So no. But what I do, but there is we have a compromise called a price alarm. So
Oh,
if it hits a price, the alarm will go off.
oh my God.
And
So you're
so
right in the
yeah,
middle of a sweet dream. You have to come back to reality.
I
Huh?
know.
Oh boy. You know, we need
So
our runs, Nick. So now I
exactly.
know why you're having trouble holding positions. It's because I think that was Ariana Huffington who talked about the importance of sleep
Very important.
for performance and for health and for everything. I would have a talk with my partner about these alarms. What do you think?
I'm just gonna say leave orders. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
want I
is there
want you to
anything
stay
else you
well
want to look
rested.
at?
Well, perhaps
Any
now we could go
questions?
to risk on, risk off with U.S. dollar yen that serves two masters, both the Nikkei and the Treasuries. So I guess you already gave us a clue that you're still negative, and so this should be setting up within maybe 100 or 200 pips, a decent shorting opportunity in U.S. dollar yen.
Um, yeah, I'm just
Or maybe
gonna.
it's over here.
Okay, so here's the dollar yen. Like, just I like to look at big fib levels, and
Yeah,
the first this is a monthly chart of the dollar yen, and the first big fib level was our 23.6, which we broke the first time through, and then
right,
spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 5 weeks, sorry, holding below.
yes,
Like, so
right,
that was pretty key. And for me, once you're below that, you're going to the next one, and that's down here. And that's also, the head and shoulders target, because we haven't kind of quite, for me, got there. So I'm looking for 106.65 next. Yes. Um,
okay, okay, 106 and a half.
yeah.
Because
But so when I
maybe
look at
one,
this is my
maybe 101 if we get through that head and shoulders target.
definitely, yes.
Okay, that's what I
Sorry, I'll go
thought.
back. Yeah. And through that, the 50% is 100.7,
Okay,
which would
great
be a
levels.
common retracement level. So on my 4-hour chart, it's like, where can you sell it? So potentially we could roll over here. Is the 618 of the big decline um,
Yes,
at the end of the month, end of last month. But a back pattern more likely would be around 112.80, 113.10.
that's what I was looking for. Okay, what a great presentation again, Dick. So, if you want, maybe you could talk about your mission of your collaboration with your website
Oh,
and
well,
the best way for people. I'm sure you'll be announcing on Twitter when it
yeah,
goes
we
live.
will we'll make an announcement. So I'll show you. We have a page like this, and we have all our tickers. So I'll just show you them. And so we have a macro view, a candlestick view, a basic technical, so like chart patterns, a harmonic view, which I contribute to, and Elliott wave. And
That's Greg. That's
so we
Greg
have
Horton.
color codes for those. And so when we go to one, so let's go to, I don't know, let's go to gold, which we were just looking at. So we have a macro view, we have key levels, some takeaways, and then you can flip through. So there's our macro chart,
Yes.
candlestick chart, basic
Nice.
technical patterns, harmonics, which I've just talked you through, and then
Right.
we have Elliott wave view, which is bullish.
That's
I'll
where I
show
want to
you.
sell it.
Great.
What's that?
Yeah,
Okay, so that would be the third drive I'm looking for if he's right.
yeah,
Oh, okay, interesting. That's Horvat, huh? Does the LA Wave
yeah.
stuff? Okay, yeah,
So
he won an FX Street Award for
he's
something.
really good. He is a really good Elliott wave technician
Yeah,
and a super nice guy. So
he was very confident in every call he
great
made.
work ethic.
Yeah.
Great work ethic. I like him a lot.
So, how
So
much
yeah,
are you going to charge? What are you going to charge people to get this type of
okay,
great
now
coverage?
I want you. Everybody says, "Oh, you sold out. You're not going to be a trader anymore. Now you're going to live off your analysis income." I want you
Uh,
to know that, like, I do the harmonics. The bolt on is $15 per person per month. So if
okay.
anybody thinks I'm going to retire on that, they need to think again.
Well, all right. I have an answer for you to
Okay.
give people. Richard Dennis is a legend, right? He taught
Yeah.
the turtles. All right. And every turtle turned out to be a legend who have
Yes,
passed
it
it
did.
on and taught other people. Richard Dennis, besides being a master trader, had a brokerage firm called C&D Commodities, where
Yes.
he generated revenue just from trade volume of locals on the floor of the Board of Trade in the Merc. So here's a guy that was a multimillionaire who still had more than one revenue source in his own trading. And I would say that you trade with more confidence if you have more than one
Oh,
revenue stream and that it wasn't life or death based upon every trade that you made. So even
definitely.
multimillionaires have more than one revenue stream.
Definitely. And all of us agree that if we are doing this analysis for everybody else. And you know, if people are paying you for your analysis, then you know, you work bloody hard for it. Then we are all better traders because of it. You know,
It also makes you more accountable
yeah,
because your
more
work is
accountable.
more. That's
And
right. So you.
we're really thorough, you know, because it's not just, oh, you don't just, you know, you're always what could go wrong, what's wrong with this. Um, so yeah, no, I both Blake and I agree that we trade better when we do this because we are really thorough, and you know, it, it's a
And
good
Blake
way
and
to
Blake's
cover
a
a lot
great
of
trader.
markets.
Blake's a
Great
great
trader,
trader, but he's been doing morning edge for many years. That's another
yeah,
revenue source for him. And I don't think that's impaired his trading. I think
yeah.
that, in fact, embellishes his trading, being
So I think
accountable to
it's
the community.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be like I
Uh,
think if you get everything, you know, Elliott wave, harmonics, everything, um, then it's like I think it's like $70 a month, and we have
very
alerts, you
good.
know, every time there's a new pattern and a pop up, and we have headline news from Ranscorp. Thank you, Ranscorp.
Oh
So
yeah.
we have live
And
headlines,
how are you going to send out your alerts? Email?
email, and if the page is open, has a pop up.
Okay. So they just keep
So.
it on, keep the website open during the
So if they
day.
just have one page open, yes, it'll pop up, a little pop-up window.
Okay. Great
It'll
feature.
say, yeah, this is
Okay.
breaking out here, or, you know, hourly Gartley pattern in something. Yeah.
All
So
right. Well, all I could say is I
thanks for
know,
letting me tell everyone about it. I really appreciate you.
you know, you're very welcome. I know it's going to be successful. I don't have to wish you success. You've assembled a great team, and I want to thank you for your time today, Nick, and appreciate your work and appreciate Blake's. And I know of Greg, not as familiar with the Greek component of it, but I plan on becoming more familiar with it. And really, congratulations on this new project. May it be blessed with pips raining down on all of your contributors and all your subscribers in the days and years ahead.
You're such a lovely man. You know, you really are. Thank you so, so much. Really, I appreciate you very much. I know a lot of other people do too.